Ladies, let me tell you something right now, because a lot of women out here are working too hard, stressing too much, and overcomplicating what it really takes to get a man's heart. Y'all got books stacked up. You following every YouTube guru. You trying 50 tricks you found on Instagram Reels, and none of it feels real. None of it feels like you. But let me cut through all the noise for you tonight. There is only one move, just one, that can make any man fall for you. And it's not what you think. It ain't about wearing the shortest dress. It ain't about putting on a ton of makeup. It ain't about cooking him the biggest meal. And it sure ain't about trying to play games to make him jealous. The one move that makes any man fall for you is this: make him feel like he matters. That's it. That's the secret. That's the thing that hits every man deep inside, past his ego, past his pride, straight to his heart. See, men walk around this world every single day carrying pressure you don't even know about. We carry the weight of wanting to provide, the stress of proving ourselves, the grind of trying to become somebody in this life. We may look calm, we may look like we got it together, but inside, most men are fighting battles that nobody ever asks them about. That's why respect and validation mean so much to us. When you step into a man's life and you are the one person who says, "I see you, I appreciate you, I'm proud of you," you don't just give him words, you give him oxygen. You become the difference between him barely surviving and him thriving. And trust me, when a man feels that from a woman, he don't ever want to let her go. Now, let me break it down real clear. A man wants to feel respected more than he wants to feel loved. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Steve, don't men want love? Of course we do. But see, our definition of love is tied to respect. When a man feels disrespected, I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how much fun you are. I don't care how good you look on his arm. If you strip him of respect, he will never give you his heart. But when you show a man that you admire him, that you believe in him, that you trust him, that you appreciate what he brings, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not all the way there yet, that's the thing that makes him attach himself to you. That's the thing that makes him fall. Let me give you an example. A man comes home after working all day. Maybe it wasn't a great day. Maybe he didn't hit all his goals. Maybe he feels like the world kicked him around a little bit. Now he comes through that door and you have two choices. You can either remind him of what he didn't do, nag him about what still needs fixing, or you can look at him and say, "Baby, I'm proud of how hard you work. I know you're giving your best." Do you know what that does to a man? It makes him want to try harder tomorrow. It makes him feel like somebody believes in him, even when he doubts himself. That's the one move. That's the difference. You either become the voice that tears him down or the voice that builds him up. And if you're the one who builds him, you just became unforgettable. See, here's the truth about us men. We want to be seen as winners. We want to be the hero in your eyes. We want to know that when we step into your world, we don't have to pretend to be something we're not, because you already see the greatness in us. And ladies, when you make a man feel like he's capable, like he's strong, like he's valuable, not by lying to him, not by sugarcoating, but by sincerely acknowledging his effort and his growth, you unlock a version of him that no other woman can reach. He might get attention from the outside world, but the outside world don't touch his soul. You do. That's why so many men stay loyal to the women who believe in them, because they know that without her, they wouldn't be the man they are. And let me say this too, because I know some of y'all out there are saying, "But Steve, I don't want to baby a man. I don't want to stroke his ego every 5 seconds." That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you got to play small or act like you're less than him. No, no, no. A real woman understands her power. And the greatest power you got is that you can see into a man deeper than the world ever will. You can see his fears, his doubts, his insecurities, and instead of using them against him, you can cover them with encouragement. That don't make you weak. That makes you the strongest presence in his life. Because the world tears men down all day long. Work tears him down. Life tears him down. His own mind sometimes tears him down. But if he comes to you and you lift him up, oh baby, he will worship the ground you walk on. Now, don't get it twisted. This ain't about manipulation. This ain't about pretending to like something he does just to get him hooked. Men can spot fake admiration. What I'm saying is be real with it. If he's working hard, tell him you notice. If he's trying to change, tell him you appreciate the effort. If he provides for you, don't act like it's nothing. Say thank you. If he protects you, let him know you feel safe with him. Those words, those moments, those acknowledgments, they hit a man harder than anything physical ever could. And you know what happens. He starts associating you with his best self. He starts thinking, when I'm with her, I feel stronger. When I'm with her, I feel like I can conquer the world. And once a man feels that way about you, he don't want to lose you, because losing you feels like losing himself. Some women think the way to keep a man is to compete with him, to outdo him, to challenge him at every turn. But let me tell you something, a man doesn't fall in love with the woman who makes him feel small. He falls in love with the woman who makes him feel tall. And it's not about being submissive. It's not about giving up your power. It's about sharing your power in a way that builds both of you. When you can celebrate him without losing yourself, when you can encourage him without diminishing your own worth, that's when you create a bond that nobody can break. Let me tell you why this works so powerfully. Because at the end of the day, men are just like anybody else. We want to be loved for who we are, not just for what we do. And when you show a man that you value his essence, not just his paycheck, not just his muscles, not just his status, but his heart, his effort, his drive, his character, that's the kind of love that makes him put you first. That's the kind of love that makes him fight for you when times get hard. That's the kind of love that lasts. So if you really want to know the one move that makes any man fall for you, don't overthink it. Don't get lost in games. Don't try to be something you're not. Just make him feel like he matters. Respect him. Celebrate him. Believe in him. Appreciate him. Because when you do that, you won't just have his attention. You'll have his heart. Let me put it to you straight, because sometimes the truth is real simple, but we make it complicated. Everybody wants to know the secret, the magic trick, the hidden code to a man's heart. Women ask me all the time, Steve, what do men really want? How do I get a man to fall in love and stay in love? And I tell them, you don't need a whole book of strategies. You don't need to learn how to play mind games, and you don't need to become somebody you're not. There's one move, one thing that every man responds to deep down, no matter how strong he looks, no matter how successful he is, no matter how cool he tries to play it. The one move that makes any man fall for you is when you make him feel like he is valued, respected, and significant in your life. That's it. That's the one. Now, let me explain why that's so powerful, because some of y'all think men are just about looks, attraction, and fun. Don't get me wrong. Yes, a man will notice your beauty. Yes, he'll be drawn to your personality. Yes, he'll enjoy your company. But beauty fades, charm can wear off, and fun comes and goes. What sticks is how a man feels when he's with you. If being around you makes him feel stronger, more confident, more capable, he is going to keep coming back, because you become his safe space in a world that doesn't always give him that feeling. And when you give that to a man, you don't just grab his attention, you grab his soul. Every man you see walking around out here is carrying a need that he doesn't always talk about. We like to act tough. We like to act like we don't care what people think. But the truth is we crave one thing more than anything else: respect. Respect is oxygen to a man. Without it, he suffocates. And it's not just about respecting what he does. It's about respecting who he is. You want him to fall in love. You've got to show him that you notice his efforts, you appreciate his grind, and you see potential in him even when the world doesn't. That kind of recognition changes everything. Think about it. A man goes out there, he works all day, maybe he's tired, maybe he's discouraged, maybe he didn't hit all his goals. Then he comes home to a woman who points out all the things he didn't do right, all the ways he fell short. That man is going to start shutting down because he feels like he's fighting battles in the world and then fighting battles at home too. But imagine that same man coming home to a woman who says, I know you worked hard today. I'm proud of you. I believe in what you're building. Do you know how far that goes? That's not flattery. That's not ego stroking. That's fuel. That man will wake up the next morning with more drive, more energy, more determination, because he knows somebody believes in him. Ladies, listen carefully to me. Men fall in love with women who make them feel like they can win. That doesn't mean you let him get away with being lazy. It doesn't mean you ignore his flaws, but it does mean you focus more on building him up than tearing him down. When you admire a man sincerely, you unlock something inside him. He starts associating you with progress. He starts thinking, when I'm with her, I feel unstoppable. When I'm with her, I feel seen. When I'm with her, I feel like the best version of myself. And when a man feels like his best self around you, he won't want to let you go, because letting you go would mean losing the very thing that makes him feel alive. And don't confuse this with babying a man, because that's not what I'm saying. Men don't want a mother. We don't want somebody to coddle us. What we want is a partner who believes in us. There's a difference. Believing in a man means you see his effort, you encourage his growth, and you remind him of his worth. That gives him confidence. And confidence is like rocket fuel for a man's love. He will tie his heart to the woman who made him feel capable when the world told him otherwise. I'll tell you something else. Men are simple in one way. We're always asking ourselves two silent questions in a relationship. One, does she respect me? And two, does she appreciate me? If the answer is yes to both, that man will give you his whole heart. If the answer is no, he may stick around for a while, but he will never go all in. Because for us, respect and appreciation equal love. You can say, I love you every day, but if you constantly dismiss his efforts, if you belittle his dreams, if you talk down to him, he won't feel loved. But if you tell him you're proud of him, if you acknowledge the little things, if you remind him that he matters to you, then he feels that love more deeply than anything else. Let's get real for a second. Most men don't get compliments. Most men don't get told they're doing a good job. Out in the world, we get pressure, competition, and criticism. So when a woman steps into our life and gives us encouragement, it feels like water in the desert. That's why it's so powerful. You might think it's small, but to a man, it's huge. You tell him, I believe in you, and suddenly he feels 10 feet tall. You tell him, I appreciate what you do for me, and suddenly he feels like he can take on the world. That's the move. That's the thing that gets him to fall, because no one else is giving him that. Now, I know some women say, well, Steve, why do I have to do all that? Why can't a man just appreciate me for me? And the answer is, of course, he should. But if you're talking about making a man fall for you, I'm giving you the truth about how men are wired. Just like women need love and affection, men need respect and admiration. It's our love language. It's the thing that speaks straight to our heart. And when you understand that and use it authentically, you create a bond that other women can't compete with. Here's the beauty of it. When you make a man feel respected and appreciated, he doesn't just sit back and enjoy it. A real man will give it back to you tenfold. He'll love you harder, protect you stronger, provide for you better, because he feels fueled by the way you treat him. It becomes a cycle of love and respect that keeps growing. You give him admiration, he gives you devotion. You give him belief, he gives you loyalty. You give him appreciation, he gives you commitment. That's how it works. So let me paint you a picture. You've got two women standing side by side. One is gorgeous, dressed to the nines, perfect hair, perfect body. The other may not be as glamorous, but she makes a man feel valued, respected, and appreciated. 9 times out of 10, the man is going to choose the second woman for his heart. Why? Because beauty fades, but the feeling of being valued never goes away. Men don't fall in love with the woman who looks the best. They fall in love with the woman who makes them feel their best. And once you become that woman, once you make him feel like he matters, once you make him believe he's capable of more than he thought, he's yours. Not because you tricked him, not because you played games, but because you gave him something real, something he can't buy, something he can't fake, something he can't find everywhere. That's the move. That's the one thing that turns a man from interested to invested, from casual to committed, from just liking you to truly loving you. Let me talk to you from the heart, because a lot of people out here are making love more complicated than it needs to be. We live in a time where everybody's giving out advice. Everybody's telling you to play games, pull back, act busy, make him chase you, confuse him so he'll want you more. But let me tell you something, real men don't fall in love because you outsmarted them. Real men don't fall in love because you played it cool enough. Real men fall in love when you make them feel something nobody else does. And that one move, the one thing that makes any man fall for you, is when you make him feel like he is respected, appreciated, and significant in your world. That's the key. That's the difference. That's what changes the whole game. See, men are not as complicated as people make us out to be. We might look mysterious, but deep down, we've got a few core needs. Respect is at the top of that list. We want to feel like what we do, who we are, and what we're working toward matters to somebody, especially the woman we're giving our time, our love, and our energy to. And when a woman recognizes that, when she looks at a man and says, I see you, I value you, I believe in you, that does something to us that nothing else can. It sticks. It gets in our heart and stays there. Think about this for a second. The average man walks out into the world every day with pressure on his shoulders. He's got bills, responsibilities, goals, fears, failures, and competition. Out there, he's judged on what he earns, what he drives, what title he holds, and whether or not he measures up to other men. The world rarely gives him a break. And then, if he comes home to a woman who also doesn't see him, who only criticizes, who only points out what's wrong, he feels empty. That's when men withdraw. That's when they stop opening up. That's when they stop giving. But now flip that picture. A man comes home after all that pressure, and the woman in his life is the one person who tells him, baby, I'm proud of you. I see how hard you're working. I know you're giving your best. Do you understand how powerful that is? That's like breathing air after you've been holding your breath all day. That's like water when you've been walking in the desert. It's rare, it's refreshing, and it makes him fall. This doesn't mean you've got to shower him with compliments all day. It's not about being fake. It's about being intentional. It's about noticing the effort and not taking it for granted. If he fixes something around the house, say thank you. If he takes you out, let him know you appreciate it. If he's grinding at his job, remind him that you see his hustle. Those little words, those little acknowledgments go further with a man than you can imagine. Because when a man feels like his woman appreciates him, he'll run through walls for her. He'll give everything he has because he knows he's not invisible. Now, some women might say, well, Steve, I want a man who already knows his worth. Why do I have to tell him all the time? And I get that, but let me explain something to you. Even the strongest man needs to hear it. Even the most confident man needs to feel it. Because at the end of the day, we're human. We may not say it out loud, but we crave affirmation. We crave knowing that the person we love sees us, values us, and respects us. That doesn't make a man weak. It makes him real. And the woman who understands that, the woman who feeds that need in an honest way, she becomes unforgettable. I'll tell you a secret, men remember how you make them feel more than anything else. You could be the most beautiful woman in the room, but if you constantly belittle him, if you treat him like he's not enough, he's going to pull back. On the other hand, you could be simple, modest, and quiet, but if you make a man feel like he's a king when he's with you, he's going to stay, because beauty might catch his eye, but respect and appreciation capture his soul. That's what makes him fall. I know a lot of women today are independent, strong, ambitious, and that's a beautiful thing. You should have your own goals, your own power, your own success. But don't ever think that showing a man respect makes you smaller. It doesn't. In fact, it makes you bigger in his eyes because you're not competing with him. You're building with him. And a man will always fall for a woman who builds instead of tears down. You become his partner, his encourager, his safe place. That's not weakness. That's power. And let me tell you what happens when you do this the right way. When you make a man feel like he matters, he responds. A man who feels respected becomes more loving. A man who feels appreciated becomes more generous. A man who feels valued becomes more committed. You don't have to beg him for attention. You don't have to chase him. You don't have to wonder if he's serious about you. He'll show you, because men invest in the women who invest belief in them. That's how it works. I've seen men leave beautiful women, successful women, exciting women, all because those women didn't give them respect. And I've seen men stay loyal for years to women who may not have been the flashiest, but they